Hey there, nerds. Jimmy Palmquist here with my spoiler-free review of The Force Awakens. So, as I kind of said with my little teaser and my gut reaction, I definitely think, after giving it more and more thought, that The Last Jedi, being 2.5 hours, it tried to tackle too much. And I know when The Force Awakens came out, that was my first sort of defense of that film, when people said, oh, it's just a copy of A New Hope, is no, it accomplished what it needed to do, and that was to get fans back into the Star Wars universe after the bad taste that the prequels left in our mouth, and that it was giving us this nostalgia thing, and it had a lot of things that it needed to accomplish, but by sort of getting down to the bare bones of what it needed to be, that's what it did. This one, I don't know if it's from the critics on the first The Force Awakens or what, but I believe this one just tried to tackle too many things. And that's not saying it's a bad movie. I enjoyed it, but my critique is it just tried to tackle too many things, and in doing so, I think there's some holes in the story, things that just don't make sense. And I really wish that this installment sort of had more of a Empire Strikes Back feel, but more of a second act feel to get us to the third act. And maybe that's my misperception on what things should go and how Disney's going to do this, is we need to stop thinking as trilogies, and that this is the second part of the three-part story, so we don't have that tone. But it just didn't have that, and that felt weird to me. Now, I will say, as the caveat to that, my expectations to every Star Wars film going in are sky high. They need to hit this. And I kind of felt the same way after The Force Awakens, after Rogue One, and it gave after a second viewing, I was really like, okay, all right, yeah. And I've grown to really, really like Rogue One. Force Awakens I really like for what it is, and I can rewatch it, but Rogue One I definitely think is a far superior film. This one, I feel like, as with Marvel Studios, when that first came about, before Disney, we had Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, and these two films set the tone to what Marvel Studios would be, but Marvel did not have any overarching huge storyline, is what developed once Disney bought it. And then they were able to figure out this formula that really works. Iron Man 2 is a great example of, they didn't have a formula yet, and they just were kind of trying to tell great stories, and that one failed. Well, I feel like once Star Wars gets this formula, we're going to have really non-stop entertaining films. This one, I'm glad it's there. I think it's a good installment. I just don't think it's as good as it could be. I'm impressed with some of the things Rian Johnson did, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I think he did some un-Star Wars-like things in a Star Wars movie, and that's going to take some time to get used to. I did like a lot of the infused humor, and it starts right off the bat, and it's good. And they also, right from the opening scroll, they give this perception that this is going to follow Empire Strikes Back storyline, and then immediately break ranks. And I feel like that was done on purpose to let us know, hey guys, we understand Force Awakens, what your comments were about this one's going to be different. And it was completely different, like I've said. I thought there were a lot of great visual scenes, a lot of great action scenes, but my main complaint was, I'm not sure it was all tied together great. And like I've commented before, especially after The Force Awakens, this is the first time in my history as being an adult, I don't know where Star Wars is going to go. The extended universe really hasn't provided us any insight, and unlike the prequels, where we knew Anakin was going to be Darth Vader, that was the whole point of making those films. This one, who knows? I don't know what the third installment of this new trilogy will be. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. I don't even know what characters are going to be in it. So I want to see this again. That's my biggest comment. I want to see this again. I want to see how I feel after that. There was so much going on that maybe I missed some things. And I thought there was one thing that I thought it definitely was lacking. There was a key scene where we could have had an old character and they didn't have an old character, and I don't know why, and I'm really bummed by that. But so right off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to give this 2.5 to 3. I'll give it 3 Nerd Skulls because I did enjoy it. It's still a Star Wars movie. My expectations are high, so I'm probably being a big old baby fanboy, being too harsh on it. But I'm not as happy about this film as I think other critics are, and I think they could have done better. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below.